Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make your very own Dale Chihuly-inspired fake glass hanging sculpture. Something that looks kind of like this. It's hard to tell here. But what you're going to need is recycled plastic water bottles. The ones with the ridges on the side are the one those are the best to use. You're going to need some Sharpie markers. You have to have permanent marker. The other markers just wipe right off, so you really need to have Sharpies. And a good pair of scissors. So that is essentially what you need, and maybe some string for later, but you can also use a metal hanger as well. So what we're going to do with this is the lid, you don't need the lid, so the lid you can take off and recycle or set aside for a future project. So we're really focusing on this part right here, not so much the very, very bottom and not so much this part. So really just the areas here where it's all ridgy. Those are the areas that we're going to color. This is going to be our glass, our pretend glass. So taking your Sharpie, you can color however you want to do this. You can make curly cues, you can do solid fill, solid color like this. And it's going to be it's going to be opaque, and that's okay. You want to use some good Sharpie markers. I would not recommend using paint. Paint does not work well on these plastic bottles, and over time it will chip off, and then when you go to cut it, it would chip off or peel off anyway. So you want to make sure that you are coloring this whole area top to bottom. You can color it along the ridges, or you can color it the opposite way like this. It's really up to you on how you want to color it. You can mix colors, you can skip some and leave some blank. Really kind of fun to do. Who doesn't love coloring with Sharpie markers? You can make it all sorts of different colors. Each one can be different colors. One could be one color, and you can put them all together so they're all different colors. Really up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So now you might need some parental supervision for this, because you do need a pair of sharp scissors or an X-Acto knife, which is those little tiny knives that look like about this big, and they have a really sharp edge on them. A good pair of scissors will be just fine though as well. So once you are finished coloring from here down, you want to do the cutting. So you can cut off this part on top here. We are going to need it, so we don't want to cut it all the way off. Actually, let's start down at the bottom. Let's do that. Let's start down at the bottom. So if you start down at the bottom, that might be a little easier. You could start either way, but I think that's probably the easier way. So you take and make a slit at the bottom there, and you start cutting. Now, don't cut all the way around. Start cutting up this way. So cut at an angle as you turn the bottle. And if you cut at a very large angle, you'll get a big large piece like that. If you cut at a smaller angle, it'll be a little bit smaller. So you just want to keep cutting as you go up. And you want to make sure that you keep, so I'm going to stop right here. So I'm going to keep this part right here, and I'm going to keep this part. But I didn't cut all the way because I didn't want to cut this all the way off. So I just cut like this. I took the water bottle and I cut it so it looks kind of like an accordion there. So this bottom part here, you can cut all the way off. You can cut this off and set this aside and use for other crafts. So now you have kind of this deconstructed water bottle here. So just take this off, put it off to the side, and then keep going. And do it with as many water bottles as you want. You want to get some that are, I've got one here that's skinnier. This one has a little bit thicker. This one's a thick one as well. So once you've got a bunch of them ready to go, you want to put them together. So what I do is I stack them on top of each other, right here. So I got one here, put the next one on top like this, and it lets these fall down next to it. And then take the next one, stack on top of that. So you're just stacking the top of the water bottle, see, these are the tops, on top of each other. So like this, in like this. And at the very end, what you can do is if you've got a piece of string, or if you've got a coat hanger, something like that, or a piece of wire, a piece of metal to go through. And then what you can do is hang this up, and then it kind of catches the light, and it looks like a fake glass chandelier. And it's a really fun project to do with all of your recycled water bottles. And it's really easy, and it kind of lights up the room that you're in. So there you go. There's a tutorial on how to make your water bottle into a Dale Chihuly-inspired glass hanging.